for those that have never met you, Cakes by Dria is your cake business, but you can do more than just cakes, right?
Yes, for sure.
What are some of your favorite things to bake?
One is cakes and also cupcakes. So I get like really excited when I get like my measuring right and they're all just like level and just super cute. So I think being able to kind of get that together has been just really awesome for me because when I first started out, I was kind of struggling with like how much batter in the cupcakes to get them all even. And so now that I'm like, I feel like I'm the cupcake queen. I feel like I can just like eye it and it rises just right. And so lately, I think cupcakes are kind of becoming my thing.
When did you start to develop your passion for baking? Was this something from like your childhood, or is your passion something that you came to a little bit later in your teens or something like that?
Yeah, definitely. I think I kind of just started becoming passionate about it like later on in life. So I want to say like 19 and that like early 20 ages. Just because I come from a family that we really didn't do a lot of baking. Like baking was just, something that was big for special holidays. So like Thanksgiving that just passed, we would have like the pies and the cakes and things like that. But as far as like my family actually making them, we didn't have too much of that to where it was someone, like my mom, like a direct, family member.
Do you have any plans to open up your own shop?
I actually get that question a lot, and I don't. I can't lie, I don't. It's just because I enjoy it so much, and so now it's just something that just fun for me. I've been a decorator at just different bakery chains and
Mhm.
mom and pop shop bakeries. It just, man, I've done that for 8 years and I see that it is like a lot of hard work. And it's not that, I'm against hard work or working hard or anything like that. It's just that I just want to be happy and do it. It was different when I had to do it every day. It just changed, something that I loved into something that I was just ready for a break. And I never want to go like a month without baking anything because I do, love it and I do enjoy it. So
Uh,
I think
I
I'll keep
hear
it
that.
at home for now.
I definitely hear that. Having balance in your life is really important. So I think you have a very good head on your shoulders. You're right. It is a lot of hard work to have a shop. I mean, so many, don't last very long. So I think you're taking the right approach.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I also noticed you have an Instagram for like planting, and it's called like a good thumb, a good green thumb.
Yeah. So I actually created that during quarantine. So I've always loved to garden. I love plants and just that's really always been my passion. But it was something about, being trapped in the house. And I'm just like, man, okay, my plants are doing really good. And, just from cutting some of them to propagating them and just doing all these interesting things and reading up, I had so much time. So I'm reading about more plants and I think I was posting too much on my personal page. So for the people that are like, I don't want to see plants every day, I was like, okay, so let me, create another page just for, my green thumb people. And it's really just taken off. I just, share little tips and things that I learned. I would love to say they're all just like vibrant and, living their best life, but it's ups and downs. So I'm just, appreciative of the journey. It really taught me patience and, just knowing that I can't treat every plant the same.
Mhm.
So just that little bit of information and going, figuring it out as I go.
Yeah, I don't think I have a green thumb at all. Like I have in our living room, I brought in our lavender and our mints, and they're not doing good. Like, what would you recommend? I water them every day, but I don't know even if that's the right thing to do.
Yeah. So you don't have to water those every day. So I know that a lot of times the finger test for your soil. So you're just gonna like put your index finger in there, and if it's dry up till here, then you need to water. But for the most part, they don't really need watering a lot. I'm not too familiar with lavender, but I do have some mint. So um, I know that it also got really cold. We had this random like freeze. So I don't know how soon you brought it in or if it made it. Um,
I did bring it in, I think in September, but I mean, I was not the most diligent. I wasn't that diligent this summer. They might have gotten too much heat.
no, it was a really hot summer. So I don't think anyone was really prepared for that. I know that it took me some getting used to because I'm gardening for my patio. So that's completely different than, putting it straight into the ground as opposed to all these baskets and weird, setups. So I know all of that makes a difference, but it could just be in shock just from coming from outdoors to inside. I mean, it is a big change, a drastic change from the direct sunlight to window sunlight, even though I don't know why, but they do get a little freaked out. But I hope it pulls through. It's not like completely black and like gone forever. So
We'll see. I'll try my best, but thank you for those tips. I can't help but ask this question. Do you see similarities between planting and baking?
oh man, definitely. Just like I said, just the patience aspect of it. When I'm baking, of course, it has to be in the oven. It has to, take time to cook. And so, and then even after that, I have to wait until it completely cools so that I can decorate. So there's so many waiting, processing and steps in baking that are really similar to gardening and planting. Like I can't just fertilize my plants every day. I can't just do what I want to them because they're not ready yet. So even with the watering, like you said, I can't water them every day because they don't need water every day. So it's like, when do you need water? Like, let me check on you now. And so it's the same thing with baking. It's like you're hitting the light in the oven, like, okay, are we good? Are you still rising? Like, okay, I remembered the eggs this time. So there's so many things like that take place that I definitely see the similarities.
That's awesome. Yeah, because I can see when I discovered your other Instagram, I can see that I could see a similarity, and so I wanted to ask you, and I think that's very cool. Um, I guess what's the last question I want to ask? In terms of how you like to work with a client, what do you prefer? If they give you just some verbal direction, or do you sometimes need them to sketch something? I mean, what's the process of working with you? Like, just basically, I know working with you has been easy for me. I don't always have a clear idea of how it's going to look, but you run with it and you do research. So that's what I know about you from my experience.
Oh yeah, for sure. So usually when I have a client, we just kind of start out like I ask the just general basic questions like, when is it for? How many people do you need it to feed? Those things kind of help me decide. Okay, so do you need a two-tier cake versus you just need a small cake? And for example, a cake I did, I think a week ago, it was a similar situation. They were really sold on like, oh my gosh, I need a two-tier cake. But when they found out how much the smallest two-tier cake will feed, they're like, oh wait, I have 10 people. Like that's way too much cake. So just kind of starting in that, with those general questions and then going to what's your theme. So a lot of times you have people that are like, Pinterest moms are like they've seen it a million times. They're like, okay, I want this cake exactly the same. Like, oh my gosh, love this cake. And then I have some clients that will send me 30 pictures and they're like, yeah, just make it look nice. so like that's always fun. Like I like to be able to put my creative spin on it. Most decorators and other decorators I work with, we don't like to just copy someone else's work, because it's still a creative field. Like we're still artists in our own ways. So we want to be able to like add our own touches to it. And it's really hard to duplicate somebody else's work to a T, just because of, we're not the same person. So I always, share that with my clients. Anytime they request something for any characters or movies I haven't seen, I watch the movies just because I want to make sure like my colors are right. I want to make sure I'm going the right way with the theme. You know, I can look at 100 pictures of other people's cakes, but what if I saw something in the movie that I'm like, oh man, that was really cool how they did, how that mountain was like, there, or, just different things like that. And so I'm able to just draw from those things. But I do sketch them out in my, on my paper, and it's not as organized as I would like. It's pretty much just a computer sheet of paper, and I'm like, I have random little sketches everywhere. And I'm like, okay, I like that. And then once I start the cake, I could probably, I mean, man, I rarely ever do it like I have it on the sketch. So it's just, you just kind of play with it and you see. But I really appreciate the clients that like just love it. They're like, oh man, I have no idea. Like, here's a theme, just run wild. So I definitely love your order, your style of ordering for sure.
Well, thank you so much, Dria. I'm going to let you get back to your Sunday. And what's the best way to reach you? By phone, email? For clients, I mean, for new
Okay, yeah.
business.
So really both. I mean, my emails, I have my alert set up, so I see it as quickly as a text message. But yeah, definitely call 214-404-1511, and I'm sure you'll add my email in. And
Yes,
yeah,
in the description, of course.
also Instagram as well. Instagram and Facebook. I get messages on there. I mean, we're all glued to our phones, so I mean, the chime is on, and I'm usually really good about getting right back with people.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Have a good rest of your Sunday. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.